Yo guys, it's KC3, welcome back to another video. Today I got a pretty special video for you guys today. This is the worst MVP of all time. He wasn't that bad, but as far as MVP goes, he wasn't good. I hope you guys do enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into this. The MVP award is the most prestigious award in the NBA, and only the best of the best players win it. Even the NBA logo hasn't won this award. When you think of the most valuable player, you think of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant. You think of all-time greats. There have been a few MVPs people have wondered if they really should have won the MVP, like Steve Nash when he won back-to-back MVPs, or when Derrick Rose won MVP, when LeBron clearly had better stats. However, all of these cases can be made. No MVP was least deserving than Dave Cowens. Dave Cowens was an 8-time All-Star, won 2 championships, and made an All-NBA team 3 times. He was a solid NBA player, but he was never considered one of the top players in the league, aside from 1972-73 season, where he was awarded the MVP over players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Nate Archibald, Jerry West, and Wilt Chamberlain. Dave Cowens averaged a solid 20.5 points, 16.2 rebounds, and 4.1 assists on 45% shooting for a center. Blocks and steals weren't recorded this season, but they were the next, and Dave never averaged over 1.3 blocks and 1.2 steals, and was named to the All-NBA second team in his MVP season. He wasn't even in the All-NBA first team. If this doesn't show how undeserving of the award he was, nothing will. The Boston Celtics had an incredible season with a 68-14 record, one of the best records of all time. Dave Cowens was one of the best hustle players in the league has seen. He was a 6'8" center, going against all-time greats, and was still able to average 16.2 rebounds, and was able to hold his own when versing these all-time great centers. Dave Cowens was a very good player. He never should have won an MVP though, especially not over the players he did. Dave Cowens did not have a single 40-point game in this season, and was never able to take over the game offensively. This season was one of Kareem's best seasons ever, as he averaged 30.2 points, 16.1 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's 10 more points than Dave Cowens, with more assists also, and more than likely would have been averaging at least 3 blocks and a steal a game, since that's what he averaged for the next seasons. Kareem's best teammate that season was Oscar Robertson, and his second last season that was a shell of his triple-double machine he once was. Kareem dominated the season, and he easily deserved to win MVP this season. However, he had won the last 2 MVPs before this, and with the players being on the ones that voted for the award, they got bored of voting for the same player, so they gave it to an undeserving Dave Cowens instead. Another player who deserved the award over Dave was Nate Archibald, also known as Tiny Archibald. He had a career year where he took over the league. He averaged a league-high 34 points per game and 11.4 assists, while having multiple 50-point games and 20-assist games on a team where he had no help. Tiny Archibald was a player that would love the game today. He was the fastest player on the court, and he loved to score. He was as athletically gifted as Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose, but in his best statistical season, he didn't get awarded the MVP, as his team just wasn't good enough and failed to make the playoffs, as Nate's best teammate Sam Lacey only averaged an abysmal 13 points. Dave Cowens arguably was not even the best player on his team, with John Havlicek outperforming him on the offensive side of the floor for the entire season, with averages of 23.8 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 6.6 assists, and had a better PER for the season. John Havlicek ended up coming 5th in the MVP voting, behind Cowens, Kareem Archibald, and Wilt. Dave Cowens also had JoJo White, who averaged 19.7 points, 6.1 assists, and 5 rebounds. JoJo White was a huge part of this team, and without him, they wouldn't have had the same success in the regular season. Even though Dave Cowens averaged 16.6 rebounds, the Boston Celtics had another insane rebounder on the team, in Paul Silas, as he averaged a ridiculous 13 rebounds for a 6'7" power forward, and per 36 minutes, Paul Silas averaged more rebounds than Dave Cowens. Paul Silas was then stepped his play up tremendously in the playoffs, averaging 15.1 rebounds, only one less than Dave Cowens. Throughout the playoffs, Dave Cowens was the third option, and his averages dropped, with both John Havlicek and JoJo White outperforming him. Dave Cowens had help all around him this season. This contributed in his team winning a ton of games. Although he helped to that, he definitely had way more help than anyone else in the league that season. Dave Cowens had two All-Stars on his team that averaged 25 and 5 in this season, and a rebounding and defensive monster to help him, which was an insane amount of help. Yet he still only won 8 more games than Kareem, who put up better stats in every category and didn't have any real help, other than some good role players averaging 15 points a game. Tiny Archibald literally had no one else on his team, and he was able to put up some of the best regular season stats, averaging 11 assists, passing to all the bums on his team. If he had had the help, he would have been able to average something ridiculous. Dave Cowens is an all-time great Celtic and helped them win their first championship after Bill Russell left, but he was not an MVP type of player at all, especially when he was outperformed by 2 other players in the league that season in every aspect of the game, and was even arguably outperformed by his own teammates. Dave Cowens winning the MVP is equivalent of if Draymond averaged a couple more points with this Warriors team and won the MVP over a prime LeBron putting up some of his best numbers on that Cleveland team, with no help just because he won an extra 8 games. Dave Cowens was good, there's no arguing that, but he is the worst MVP of all time.